name is Amisha and in today's video we are going to be reading chapter 3, The Little Boy Who Saved Holland. Let's get started. Many years ago, there lived in Harlem a bright, friendly boy named Hans Brinker. His father worked at the dike. What a dike is? Nowadays we have brick walls with bricks on top, right, of each other. But in Harlem of before, it wasn't like that. There was stones put, and then there was mud filled, and then inside they would put plants to fix it up. Let's continue. His job was to open and close the large gates at the entrance of the canals to control the flow of water. He had to close the gates carefully at night, else the water would soon overflow and flood the place. Hans's father had told him that the big part of their country lay lower than the level of the sea. For a long time in the past, Hollanders used mounds of earth to save their land from tides. Now they had learned to construct dikes or barriers. Hans knew their land that the moment neglect of his father's duty could cause destruction of death. Hans was a caring and selfless boy. What does selfless means? Selfless means a person who doesn't care about their self and cares about others. So Hans was a selfless boy and always wanted to share all he had. One bright spring, his mother had made his favorite cake. After eating it, his share, he begged his mother to let him go to the other side of the dike to see a poor blind man who lived there. He wanted to give a portion of the delicious cake. His mother was pleased that her little boy had thought of the poor man. She at once brought a basket and filled it with cakes for him to carry to the man. Hans's father made his 8-year-old son promise not to stay out too late. Soon the boy was on his way, thinking how happy the old man would be. The fellow was not mistaken. The old man was delighted to have the cake. After spending an hour with him, Hans said goodbye and started for his home. His path lay beside the dike. Now, I just told you what a dike is, but there are now large gates on it. So this is the dike, okay? Now, there are also large gates on it, so that he can open them and close them for water flow in Harlem, or else how would they get water? And they would stay thirsty. Along the grassy banks grew beautiful wildflowers, so attractive that Hans picked a bunch of them for his mother. He walked home humming a happy song. He was walking along the canal. He thought of his father's brave old gate and felt glad about their strength. For, thought Hans, if the dikes gave away, where would father and mother be? These pretty fields would all be covered with the angry waters. Father always calls them angry waters. I suppose he thinks they are mad at him for keeping them out so long. He also listened to the stealthy sound of a rabbit in the grass and smiled as he recalled the happy light and had seen on the face of his own blind old friend. Suddenly he noticed that the sun was setting and he was still some different distance from home. It was growing dark and even the blue flowers had turned to grey. But just as he began to walk quickly, he heard the sound of trickling water. Where did it come from? Where did it come from? He looked up and saw a small hole in the dike, through which a tiny stream was flowing. Any child in Holland would be filled with fear at the thought of a leak in the dike. Hans understood the danger. The little hole would soon become a large one and result in a terrible flood. Quick as a flash, he saw his duty, throwing away the flowers, and the boy clambered up the heights until he reached the hole. Now, what clambered means? Clambered means when you go on your tippy toes, like your mom bought your favorite chocolate and she put it on the top shelf and she told you that you can eat it in the evening. It's the evening, but your mom has gone to the market and your father is sleeping. How are you going to get it? You go on your tippy toes and reach it, and then you have it. But what clambered means? Clambered means going on your tippy toes. So you had just clambered to reach your chocolate. Until he reached the hole. He saw the leak could be stopped with one finger, so he thrust his chubby little fingers in the hole. The flow stopped. Ah, he thought, Harlem shall not be drowned while I am here. The night was falling rapidly. Chilly vapors filled the air. Our little hero began to tremble with cold and fear. He shouted loudly, come here, but no one came. The cold grew more severe. His tired little fingers began to become numb. The ache spread to his arm and soon his whole body was paining. He shouted again, will no one come? Mother, mother! At home, his mother had already locked the doors and had resolved to scold him. Then, when he returned for keeping out of the house for long, Hans tried to whistle, but his teeth chattered with cold, so it was impossible. Yet he was determined that he thought, I will stay here till morning. The midnight moon looked down upon the small boy sitting alone upon a stone halfway up the dike. His head was bent, but he was not asleep. He waited for someone to come. He knew if he drew away his finger, the angry waters would rush forth the town. No, he would hold it there till daylight if he lived. At daybreak, he saw a man with a lantern in his hand. He was a laborer returning after work all night. The man thought he heard groans as he walked upon the top of the dike. Bending, he saw far down the side a child withering with pain. In the name of Wonder Boy, he exclaimed, what are you doing here? I am just keeping the water from running out, was the simple answer of the little hero. Tell them to come quick. It is needless to add that they did come quickly. The town of Haarlem and a great part of Holland was saved. Years passed, many things were forgotten, but the country is still grateful to the little hero who kept his finger in the dike. Well, now the story is finished. So bye everyone, love you all. Make sure to like and subscribe my channel and share it with your friends. Bye, love you all.